Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. I'm Amy, and today I'll be taking us through a well-rounded yoga vinyasa flow targeting the core. So we want to be mindful throughout our practice to engage our core, protect our low back spine, and just move with our breath. So today we're going to begin in child's pose. If child's pose does not feel comfortable for you, you can find any resting position that feels nice, allowing yourself somewhere that just feels good and easy, that you can find your breath. If you're in child's pose with me, lower the forehead to the mat. Relax the shoulder girdle, the elbows, the fingers, the wrists. Soften the eyes, maybe to a close. Let your hips be light. Take a deep breath in through your nose, expand through your lumbar spine, up through your thoracic spine. And then maybe open the mouth and let a sigh out. And we'll just find a nice, easy breath that feels good to you, perhaps keeping the mouth closed, cycling the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Remembering at any point in our practice today that you need a rest, this position or posture will always be available to you whenever you need it. If you'd like, set an intention for your practice today, a purpose for why you stepped on your mat. It could just be simple as wanting to move your body and get stronger, or taking a few moments of peace and quiet for yourself. Deepen your practice, move for someone else. Whatever it is perfect for you. And wherever you are, we're going to root into hands and knees, coming up into a quadruped position, tabletop, and we're going to take a few cycles of cat-cow, so softening the belly towards the earth as you take a breath in. And then as you exhale, round up through the back body. Maybe move chin closer to chest. Inhale, open up the front spine, cow pose. And exhale, curl and round the back up into cat pose. Inhale, open the front body. And exhale, round through the back body. Come into neutral spine. Walk your hands up a full handprint. Option to stay on your knees as you roll your shoulders over your wrists, and we're going to hold a plank position here. If wrists are very tender, feel free to come onto forearms. And if you want a little bit more heat building, we're going to lift and extend the knees and hold a plank. So drawing the navel back in towards the spine, we're not slamming the back straight, we're keeping the back nice and long. So think about reaching through the crown of your head and reaching through your heels. Pull the navel in, pull the side waist in, and so feel everything kind of moving in opposite directions, holding you perfectly still in the middle. And we're building heat here, so breathe through it. If it's too intense, find a position that you can breathe through. Let's breathe in for 3. Breathe out. 2. Breathe out. 1 more, breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Knees drop back down to the mat. If they are lifted, we're going to lower our belly all the way to the earth. Let's tint the fingertips out to the sides of your mat. Untuck your toes, root your big toe mounds into the earth. Feet are separated here. Draw your tailbone down and ground your pubic bone to the earth. As we pull the shoulder blades back into their sockets, magnetize your fingertips and try to raise your chest a little bit or a lot. Really stretch out through that core and then wave your heart back to the mat. Feel a stretch in the chest. Inhale, rise your chest up. Squeeze through your glutes, and then exhale, wave back to the mat. 1 more time. Drive that tailbone down, push up through the fingertips. Use the strength of your low back and your upper back to lift you up, and then peel your heart back to the earth. Place your hands on either edge of your rib cage. Pull your elbows in close. Draw your tailbone down. Feel your navel pull up into your low back spine. Really energize through the earth. Push into your knees and rise up into a modified plank. Tuck your toes, sit back to child's pose for just a second, and then extend through the knees, come into downward facing dog. So take a minute here just to let the shoulder blades glide down the back. Spin your elbows towards one another. Maybe pedal the feet out here to stretch the calves and the Achilles tendons just a little bit. If you feel like your upper back is really rounded here, you're prioritizing your leg straightening over your back straightening. So think about letting your knees just bend a little bit so that you can find that relaxation through your low back. And then from there, you can kind of play around with stretching the legs out. Keep pedaling in place if you like. Kind of move side to side if that feels good to you. Whatever you need to take for your first down dog of your practice. Good. And wherever you are, still the feet. Take a moment to breathe here in this inversion. And then we're going to begin to draw our gaze up to our thumbs. Walk yourself to the top of your mat, nice and easy. Feet stay about 2 fists distance apart. We're going to slide our hands up to our shin bones and allow our back to come to a long, nice line parallel to the floor. Then as you exhale, we're going to let the knees bend a lot. Drip your chest onto your thighs. So bend your knees as much as you need to allow that to happen. And then maybe your hands rest on the floor. Maybe you grab opposite elbows to feel a little pull towards the earth. Or if that's a lot on the back, you can always rest your elbows on your thighs, but try not to collapse the shoulders. Keep those shoulders long. So wherever you are, we're finding length through the back. So maybe lift the hips a little bit higher, draw the forehead down to the earth a little bit more, let gravity pull you down, and feel free to sway here in a ragdoll or stay still. And allowing yourself the freedom of movement that your body wants here. Okay, and we'll draw our fingertips down to the earth wherever you are. We're going to start to roll up one vertebra at a time, but think about pulling yourself up with your core. So pulling yourself up with the navel drawing back, one vertebra at a time rolls you up to stand, and then sweep your hands over your head high, palms come to touch. Squeeze through your glutes, and then let your head and your chest fall in a swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift, maybe hands stay on shins or fingertips to the earth, and then exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands, step into plank pose. Knees or toes, draw your chest forward, lower all the way to the mat. Hands stay grounded. Untuck your toes, lift lower, high cobra on a breath in. And then exhale, wave your heart to the earth. Tuck your toes, plant into your knees, lift up modified plank or full plank, up and back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. One more breath in. One more breath out. Next breath in, peek to the top of your mat. Bend the knees, walk, step, or float forward. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your chest up high. Palms come to touch. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift. So moving through sun salutation A. Exhale, plant your hands, step to plank pose. You can lower all the way to the mat, knees or toes, or let's take Chaturanga Dandasana into upward facing dog. Exhale, roll to downward facing dog, all meeting here in our own place and time. Take a breath in, take a breath out. One more breath in, one more breath out. Inhale, peek to the top of your mat. Exhale, prepare, walk, step, or playfully hop to the top, landing light as you can. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, gently forward fold. Inhale, sweep your hands overhead high. Palms come to touch, and then exhale, forward fold. One more, sun A. Inhale, find your halfway lift. And then exhale, plant your hands to the mat. Step back, walk back, float back. Take your next vinyasa as your lower half are all the way to the mat. Inhale, find your back bend of choice, and then exhale, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Next breath in, prepare, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top. Inhale, find your halfway lift, and then exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, and let's place our hands at heart center. Let's find chair pose. So this is really yogi's choice. If you want to keep the feet slightly separated and that feels better to your hips and your core, go for it. If you feel fine with your feet together, I'm totally okay with you doing feet together. Just find what feels best to you. I'm going to take my feet about 2 fist distance apart, making sure my knees aren't caving in, so keeping those knees in line with toes. From here, option to keep the hands at heart center or reach them overhead or straight out in front of you for a little bit more challenge somewhere in the middle. Wherever you are, let's think about what the low back is doing. We want to draw that navel into our spine and protect the core. Sink a little bit lower. Take one more breath in. And then exhale, gently forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, walk, step, or float right into your next vinyasa. Inhale, upward dog or lower high cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big toes come to touch. Begin to sweep your right heel up high to the sky, but we're going to keep our hips squared, so not rolling them open. Let's just keep the hips squared and use the glute to help lift your leg a little bit higher, not your low back, but just the glute. As you exhale, draw your knee in towards your nose and try to pull it close to your nose as you can as you roll your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, use the glute to lift that right heel up high. As you exhale, pull that right knee back into your nose. And then one more inhale, lift it up. Exhale, knee to nose. And then lightly as you can, step right foot to right thumb. Our back heel is going to ground into the earth. Our feet are not in a straight line. We are slightly train tracked. So thinking about a fist distance apart through the feet there. Keep your hips squared forward to the front of your mat. Hands to heart center or rise your hands overhead high, but try not to lose your ears and the shoulders. Let's pull the shoulder blades down as we draw that navel into our low back spine. Pull the tailbone down just like we did in the beginning of our practice. Check out the right knee. Is it collapsing inward? Can you use the glute strength to pull that knee outward? Take one more breath in and then exhale, plant your hands back to the earth. As we spin our back heel up, can you pull this right heel into your chest, in towards your hip, and hold it there for 3, 2, 1. Step it back into plank pose. Maybe keep the foot lifted and lower half or all the way to the mat. Inhale, drop the foot to the earth wherever you are. Find your back bend of choice. And then as we exhale, step into down dog. Breathe in and then breathe out. Big toe mounds touch. Lift the left heel high to the sky. Use the strength of your glutes to lift the heel. And then draw your left knee into your nose as your shoulders move over your wrists. Inhale, use the glute strength to lift the left heel up and back. And then pull your knee towards your nose using your core strength. Last time, inhale, lift that heel high. Hips stay squared, and then pull the knee towards your chest. Hold it for just a moment. Peek to your left thumb, and then step left foot to left thumb. Elongate your heart as you spin your back heel to the earth, allowing the feet to train track just a little bit. Square the hips forward, rise warrior one. Take a breath in, and take a breath out. Relax the shoulders down. Check out that left knee. Is it rolling outward? Do we feel the glutes engage? Can we feel all the multiple directions that we're moving against to find that nice center here? Take one more breath in. As we exhale, plant your hands either edge of your left foot and then spin your back heel up. Now for a moment, we're going to pull this left heel back up into our chest. Hold it. Breathe. And then we extend that left leg back. Maybe keep it lifted for our next vinyasa. As we lower to the mat, we all place it on the floor. Upward facing dog or low high cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment to breathe. We're going to take Sun Salutation B one more time, moving a little bit more fluidly now. So prepare the feet, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, walk, step, or playfully float, landing softly at the top. Inhale, find your halfway lift, and then exhale, gently forward fold. Sink into your chair pose for one breath in. And then as we exhale, we'll go right back into our forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, walk, step, or float through your next vinyasa, or always feel free to skip a vinyasa and come into down dog or a resting pose. All meeting in down dog. Big toe mounds come to touch, right heel high to the sky. So use the strength of the glute. Exhale, pull your knee to nose for one. Inhale, lift it up high. Exhale, knee to nose, two. Last time, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, three, and step right foot to right thumb. Back heel squares to the mat, rise warrior one. Exhale, hands return back to the earth. Back heel lifts. Take your next vinyasa of choice, lowering half or all the way down. Inhale, upward dog or low high cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big toes come to touch on our next breath in. Lift the left heel high. Exhale, knee to nose for one. Inhale, lift left heel high. Exhale, knee to nose, two. Last one, inhale, left heel high. Exhale, knee to nose, three. Lightly step that foot forward. Back heel grounds to the earth, rise warrior one. As we exhale, hands return. Back heel lifts. Take your next vinyasa. As we exhale, lower. Inhale, open up the heart. Exhale, move to down dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more breath in. And one more breath out. Inhale, peek to the top of your mat. Prepare the feet, walk, step, or float. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand, rise. And then exhale, place the hands at heart center. Catch your breath here in mountain pose. So we'll begin to take a series of standing postures, working on our balance just a little bit here in the beginning. So let's shift our weight to our right foot. We'll bend the left knee just to begin to put more weight in the right leg. And we're going to keep the right knee kind of soft here, so it's not fully locked out. It's soft, but it's not completely bent. So finding a softness and activating the front of that thigh, grip into your big toe, grip into your pinky toe, and begin to lift your left foot up off the mat. So we could stay right here as our balance challenge. This might be really difficult for you. And think about keeping your hips level if this is where we're staying. So we don't want to let the left hip drop. Think about pulling that left hip up equally with the right, working the outer hip, the glute medius. If we feel pretty good here, we're going to begin to pull our head forward as we extend our left leg back. So finding a warrior three variation, keep those hips squared, just like we did in our three-legged dog. Now this might be a great place for you to stay, or moving just like a seesaw, we're going to just start to lower our head and our foot at the same time is lifting. Find a warrior three that feels good to you. If you want blocks here to hold on to for support to get the stretch of the back of the leg, that is fine as well. Hands stay at heart center, or they reach back behind you, out to the side, or for a very long lever challenge on the low back, pulling the hands forward. Square the hips, root into that big toe. Breathe as you kick that left heel up a little bit higher. Feel the whole back body magnetize up through the sky. And then we're going to, wherever you are, gently step your left foot back into warrior one, hands high or to heart center. Take a breath in. And then as we exhale, we're going to open up warrior two. So now we may kind of heel toe that right foot in just a little bit so that the right heel is in line with the back arch of the left foot. Relax the fingertips, squeeze the elbows down, squeeze the shoulder blades through, gaze over your front middle finger, and peek down to that right knee. Make sure it's not rolling inward. Use that right glute to open, and in turn, feel that inner thigh stretch. Maybe feeling a peroneal stretch of the back leg, that back ankle. And then we're going to begin to just take a reverse warrior. No weight maybe on that left hand. Maybe it's just a very active hand, or lightly resting as we stretch through this right side body. So building some more heat in the legs, let's come back to warrior two and place that right elbow on right thigh. Maybe reach that left hand to the sky. If that's a lot on this shoulder, you can take hand to heart center or to the waist. And if you want a little bit deeper stretch, reach right hand to the floor to block. Good. Begin to push that right knee into that right upper arm bone. Push right upper arm bone into right knee. Feel the duality there. No movement, but a lot of energy. What is the core doing? We're pulling that navel in so we feel that low back kind of expand and extend. And then we're going to begin to straighten out that right knee and find a little triangle pose, Trikonasana. So perhaps the right hand is on a block here, or the shin, or if you have the mobility and the flexibility in that inner thigh to keep the hand on the floor, that is fine as well. Think about what the left side body is doing here. So maybe making some space in the right side as we push this hip back a little bit more. We kind of flatten out the left rib cage, and in turn flatten out the right rib cage and find a little bit more space to breathe here. And then we'll rebend the knee, finding our side angle pose. Use the strength of the core to lift you back up to warrior two. Take a reverse warrior for a moment. And then cartwheel the hands either edge of your right foot. Back heel lifts. Take a vinyasa or choose to rest. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a breath in and take a breath out. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, prepare the feet. Look to the top of your mat. Walk, step, or playfully float. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, palms come to touch, hands to heart center. Take a moment to breathe. We're shifting our weight to our left foot now. So maybe just keeping the right knee bent, squeeze the hips, find level hips, or lift the right foot up off the earth. If that feels good to you, we'll extend the right leg long as we lean forward. But we don't want to let the head drop if the foot's not lifting, because we will feel that all in the low back. So think about keeping everything moving in one long line. Grip into your left big toe, grip into your pinky toe, root in through the foot. Maybe we stay here, or maybe we begin to lean forward a little bit or a lot, but use the strength of this glute to keep lifting the heel up to the sky. Our hips stay squared down. Perhaps you find your blocks. Hands are at heart center. Maybe they reach behind you, out to the side, or for a really big challenge, reaching them overhead. But what is the core doing? Is the back protected? Are we using our muscles to prioritize our spine? Take a few more breaths here. Breathe through whatever intensity you can tolerate. And if you cannot, find a place that you can. And then we'll all gently step into a warrior one when you are ready. So the hips squared forward, our hands are coming where they feel most comfortable. And then we're opening up into warrior two. So maybe that left heel toes in just a little bit so it's in line with that back arch. Keep spinning that knee open using the strength of your external rotators in your hip. Soften through the fingertips, elbows spin down as you feel your shoulder girdle engage. Looking over your left middle finger, sink a little deeper if you can. Shoulders stacked on top of hips, finding good alignment. Begin to take a nice, easy reverse warrior, perhaps an active right hand for more of a challenge, or gently rest it on that back thigh as you open up through the left side body. So coming back into warrior two, and then roll your left elbow to left thigh as you reach your right hand up. Hand can come to heart center or down to your waist if this is a lot on the right shoulder. And if you want to go a little bit deeper into the stretch, you can reach to a block or the floor with this left hand. Again, feel the left knee pushing into the left arm bone, the humerus, and then feel the humerus pushing into the left femur, the leg bone. Gaze can be up at the sky or down at the floor. And breathe. What is the core doing? It's active. And then we'll begin to extend our left leg long into Trikonasana triangle pose. Perhaps the hand finds a block here or your shin if this is a lot. Wherever you are, let's think about lengthening through this right side body. So letting the hip find some space there to allow the back to come into a line. Take your gaze where you feel most comfortable or most challenged, depending on what intention you set for yourself today. And then perhaps looking to the earth as we rebend that left knee, come back into warrior two for a moment. Find another reverse warrior. And then cartwheel those hands, either edge of your left foot. Take your next vinyasa or choose to rest. Inhale, find your upward dog or low or high cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll take our last little bit of core strengthening here. We're going to come down onto hands and knees, and we're going to find a side plank variation. So we're going to move onto our elbows, and we'll take this on our left side first. So our left hand is going to come towards the right edge of our mat, and we're going to roll to our left side. So option to stay on the knees and just hold here if we're really working on getting stronger through the shoulder and our core. You can also take this right leg out straight and come up here. And then finding our fullest expression, perhaps in this pose, we can come into both legs straight, maybe stagger the feet for more stability, or stack them for more of a challenge. So wherever you are, let's rise to your challenge. And let's hold this posture for several breaths. And this can be quite a challenge on its own. It doesn't have to be fancy. I've been doing side planks for 20 years now, and they never really get easy. We just learn how to breathe through them. But if you need more of a challenge, feel free to lift a leg, to take that foot in your right hand, whatever feels good to you. Let's breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And softly lower your hip to the earth. Raise up onto that left arm for just a moment and kind of just lean into that left side body. Feel a stretch through. I'm kind of propped up onto my fingertips and just letting my rib cage expand on that left side. Maybe let the right ear fall to right shoulder. And then we'll come back into hands and knees. We're going to take our elbows back to the earth as we spin our right hand towards the left edge of our mat. We'll come onto our right side hip. Option to stay on knees as our left hand comes to our waist. Left leg can be long, or both legs can be long. Find what feels good to you as we rise up to the challenge. We breathe through this intensity, and we know that we can make it. We know that this is just a little bit of a mind game, and we will move past this, and we will get to the end, and we will be okay. We just need to breathe. Maybe you focus on your intention. Maybe you just focus on your breathing. We'll breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we'll lower our waist back to the earth, and we'll prop ourselves up on our right hand, maybe even on the right fingertips as we sink into the right side. Maybe let that left ear drop towards left shoulder and find some expansion through that musculature, those obliques that we just worked. Breathe deeply into the right side body. And then we'll begin to take our feet towards the top of our mat, so swinging them around. And we'll grab the backs of our legs, but we're not rolling back just yet. We're going to find boat pose. So pulling the shoulder blades back, pull your chest up towards the sky. See how long you can get your back and gaze to the ceiling or the sky, depending on where you are. So maybe we just lift the heels to get a little bit more energetic through this, or we lift the feet up off the mat. Wherever you are, maybe playing around with letting the hands go, but if you feel the low back collapse, perhaps just resting the fingertips there to give you a little bit of support. So we're coming from high boat down into a low boat. Coming back up into high boat and then low boat. Good. Exhale, high boat. Inhale, low boat. Exhale, high boat. Inhale, low boat. Exhale, high boat. Inhale, low boat. One more time. Exhale, high boat. Inhale, low boat. Hold it. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, hold. One more breath in. Exhale, hold. And melt into the earth on your next breath in. Stretch your arms overhead high. And then sigh out the mouth. One more breath in. Exhale. And then we'll bring our arms down. Bend both of our knees. Open the arms out to a T with your palms facing upward to the sky. Let's cross our left ankle over our right thigh and then wrap that leg all the way over and roll your knees to the right edge of your mat. Begin to take your gaze over to the left palm and start to slow the breathing down. And take your right hand and help just lift that leg back up to the center. Unwrap your legs, arms back open to a T as you take your right ankle on top of your left thigh and then wrap it all the way over as you drift the knees to the left edge of your mat. Gaze to your right palm, maybe eyes closed. Maybe reflect on your intention for a moment and see how it feels. And then use the left hand to help lift the legs back up. We are all going to feel very different at this point in our practice. So I'm going to take a happy baby to finish before my Shavasana. But if you know you want to take a back bend, an inversion, plow pose, whatever it is that feels like you might need before we end our practice, feel free to take it now. But we'll bring our knees to chest if you're coming with me. You could stay here or open the knees a little bit wider just to allow some space in the hips and let the low back relax. Or perhaps reach your arms inside the knees and reach for the pinky toe edges of the feet as we find happy baby. Let the weight of the arms and the shoulders open up the hips a little bit deeper. You could stay still or rock side to side. And then wherever you are, maybe we place the bottoms of our feet to touch and lower the pinky toe edges of our feet to the earth nice and easy. Or Supta Baddha Konasana, or climb butterfly pose. Maybe placing the left hand towards the heart and the right hand over the belly. And feel the breath start to slow. And then from here, we can stay or begin to stretch out into corpse pose, legs extending long to the mat, palms facing upward by your sides in a sign of receiving the benefits of your practice today. Let your whole body melt into the earth, knowing that it has you, it has your support. It is supporting you. So just surrender to your Shavasana. And we'll gently just begin to touch our fingertips together, rolling our thumbs over the fingertips. Begin to wiggle the toes, inviting movement back into the body. We're going to make our way to the right side of our body. You can rest your head on your right arm as a pillow. And we'll take a moment here just to find gratitude for something in your life. Just a moment to say thank you for all the beautiful things that have entered your life at some point or another, whatever they provided for you. And taking a moment to reflect on how you want to step off your mat. What do you want to provide for others today? When you're ready, we'll gently meet an easy seat. Feel free to keep your eyes closed. We'll reach our hands over our head high, let the palms come to touch. Draw your thumbs down over your third eye, all seeing, all knowing, in towards your heart center, and take a moment to feel the space you've created between your palms, symbolic of your inner light. And the light that is within you shines within me, and in that way we are all connected together. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, for choosing to step on your mat. I hope to see you in my next class. Namaste.